Alright, let's look at the homework 4.1, problem number 3. Right, so we want to find the upper sum and lower sum for f of x equals 2x plus sine of x. Right, so let's do that. So for n equals 2, right here. Right, let's look at the picture first. Right, so for upper sum, so for each interval you have only two intervals now, and we pick the highest point. So in this case, this is picking the lowest point here, so that's not going to be it. And that looks like let's see here. All right. So for this interval, upper sum is using highest point, which is 3, right? And for the second interval, you're using the highest point, even though this is the right endpoint for the first one and the left endpoint for the second one. We pick the highest point. So so that's going to be the lighter colored shaded area is for the upper sum. So for the lower sum, we use the lowest point on the interval. So you can see that the lowest point is right here, which is 2. And here, lowest point is right here. So so you can see that the picture that we're looking for is this this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. All right, then let's find the area. So you have, so this is pi over 2, and then you have a 3, and another pi over 2, then times 3. So it's going to be actually pi times 3, so it's going to be 3 pi. So we know that upper sum is going to be 3 pi. All right, oops. And or actually maybe we have to look at the we have to do a rounded to 2 decimal places. Right, so I have to find the value. All right, so I'm gonna use GeoGebra. 3 pi is equal to 9.42. All right, so let's put that in. All right, so this is 9.42. All right, then lower sum is going to be 2 times pi. So let's look at that. And the 2 pi is 6.28. So as we know, so 6.28. All right, so that's the lower sum. Right, and we're going to do the same thing with n equals 4. Right, so in n equals 4, we have intervals, so each one has a width of pi over 4, right? Then look at the upper sum. So here we're not choose. So it looks like here, this one, upper sum is choosing the looks like choosing the highest point. But here, this it seems like you're doing the midpoint rule here, so that's not going to be it. And this one is it looks like for the lower sum they're picking up the higher point. All right, maybe this one right here, the last one. All right, for the upper sum, for each interval you pick the highest point, right? And for the lower sum you pick the lowest point here. All right, so this is got to be the correct one. All right, then we just have to compute. So we have let's see, so we're gonna have to, for the highest one, let's look at the let's use the GeoGebra here. All right, so for the highest, delta x is going to be pi over 4. Right, then you're gonna multiply it by, right, so the first one we're gonna use so pi, so maybe I should do it this way. All right, so x equals pi over 4, right? So that's there, and let's see, how about x equals pi over 2? That's there, and x equals pi. It's actually 3 pi over 4. That's there, and then you have pi. X equals pi. Maybe I should say that x equals pi. All right, So those are the intervals. So let's do upper sum. So you can see that for this one, you're going to plug in pi over 4. So what you can do is, so parentheses, right? So we're going to multiply by pi over 4. That will be the width of each rectangle. All right. For the first one, you plug in. So we're going to use a right endpoint because it's a higher one. So it's a f of pi over 4. Right. For the second one, you're going to use pi over 2. So f of pi over 2. Right. And the third one, actually, we're going to use the pi over 2 again because it's a higher here. So we're going to use the pi over 2 again. So f of pi over 2. And you have f of, right? So last one, we're going to use right here. So that will be 3 pi over 4. So 3 pi over 4, right? So that's going to be the value for the upper sum, right? So it came out to be 8.9. Let's see, is that 8.9 exact? Maybe I'll do this rounding, and here. All right. Oh, it's actually 8.90. All right. So let's type that in. Right. So here, upper sum is 8.90. All right. And then let's look at the lower sum. Right. So lower sum, first one you plug in 0. So you have, let's see, parentheses, and delta x is pi over 4. So you put that. So that's the width of each rectangle. And the first one we plug in 0. So we have f of 0. Right. For the second rectangle, you use the pi over 4. So f of pi over 4 plus f of, right, next one we're going to use actually 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4. Right, next one is f of, right, for the last one we use actually pi. So f of pi. So let's hit enter. Oops, actually I did something wrong. Let's see. Okay. I did something wrong here. Pi over 4, 3 pi over 4. Oh, actually, I forgot to put the division sign here. All right. So it came out to be 7.33. So let's type that in. All right, 7.33. All right. And it's a little tedious, but you're going to do the same thing with n equals 8. So I'm going to skip that one. And let's make sure that we did this correctly. Let's go to submit for testing. All right. Actually, I lost internet connection here, so I can't check the answer. But the answer we typed in should be correct. All right. That's it. I hope that this was clear.